Welcome back to London, everybody, a city where right now it is impossible to ignore football, and where in this kind of form it is impossible to ignore Arsenal Football Club. On the men's side, Arsenal are trying to win their first major trophy since the 2020 FA Cup. For the Arsenal women, it's a different challenge. They've already done what the men haven't. They've won the Champions League, and they've done it not once, but twice. Hannah and everybody over at the Soft Set are going to talk about Arsenal.
Thanks very much, Kate. OK, everybody, let's talk Arsenal then, because they've got such a strong women's and men's team. Jen, I'll come to you first. Do you think they've set the standard in the UK with integrating the two, in all your experience being at the club?
Yeah, I think, look, you have to go back. In the UK, for sure. We can talk about other European teams like Lyon and Wolfsburg, but for me, I'm going to go back to the sort of early 2000s, which Thierry would know really well, where probably your kit man at the time, Vic Akers, kind of pioneered the investment into the women's team. So he kind of, albeit we were still training semi-pro, right? But it was in the evenings at London Colney, and we felt integrated. And look, I think the success at the team at that point, they were the first English team to win the Champions League in 2000.
Quadruple.
Ooh,
quad.
There we go.
Quick correction.
Nobody has done that.
Yeah, and that was just, nobody had seen that before. Nobody had seen a full integration into a Premier League team, and for us it was everything. And the success came with it. But I think a lot of other clubs kind of did the same thing and took over. And a big investment takeover at Man City. When I signed in 2015, that was state-of-the-art training facilities. So I think a lot of teams have picked up and really invested really well. But Arsenal, for me, definitely set the standard. And, you know, winning it again last year was absolutely massive for the club, and they've gone to another level.
Can I just ask you what your training standards were like before you seen this massive development?
In those...
Back in those days?
even in those days, it was standard of training or the facilities.
Yeah, the facilities more.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Look, even in those days, it was on turf that, you know, the guys wouldn't necessarily train on, or it wasn't used, or in youth grounds, not state-of-the-art facilities, not pitches that were being relayed every year, not watered every day, not, you know, nutritionists, full-time staff. It was all kind of people that worked other jobs, and that's crazy now thinking about it, but that's how fast the game has grown.
How did you stay motivated though?
Are you turned into...
Yeah, well, I just want to ask. I'm intrigued.
Because it was, look, we were beyond passionate about it. I'll hold my hands up. I was at uni at the same time. I was semi-pro. In my sixth form even, I was thinking of taking a year out and going travelling, because the game wasn't at where it is now. But I loved the game. My first opportunity was Arsenal, where it was, you know, the likes of Kelly Smith and Alex Scott, all these like top giants of the game, who had achieved at the top. And we stayed motivated because one game a year was televised, FA Cup final. So for me, that was still something to watch. So to see even the amount of games that are televised now and showcasing where the quality is at now is insane. But for me, I loved the game. I had so much fun, and it was a hobby that turned into a job.
But, you know, you talk about the club, obviously. We all know what it is now. The team can play at the Emirates. They can train. I mean, the facilities are crazy. I remember when... I want to talk about Vic Akers because, obviously, I never had him as a coach. I had him as a kit man. But I remember every single time him trying to get boots for the players or the stuff that we were not wearing anymore, pass it on to you. How important was he in the development of the team?
Huge. And not even because of what he did, but also his understanding of the game. There weren't many people around a sort of elite environment, right? He was working with you guys firsthand every single day, so he knew what it could get to. He just had to get it there. So it took him time, but I think he just saw an opportunity and saw the kind of investment that we were willing to put in as players. So he kind of took a chance on us. And I think we were all really, really grateful at that time. And he's still a club legend in his own right. And, you know, what he did for us was just incredible.
Is Kelly Smith, the best player you played with?
Probably, yeah. In terms of a technical...
she was a joke.
No. Thierry, the men are also... I've got to jump in here. We're talking about the women, and they're doing OK this season, but you look at the men's side, they're top of the Premier League, they're top of the Champions League.
Hold on, there's an elephant in the room, Hannah.
What elephant?
Your brother scored against the Arsenal.
Bit of tension here.
Didn't it? I can feel the tension there.
Did he?
Kylie, have you got some VT for us? Roll Red Bull, yeah.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see that. When did he score?
You didn't see it?
Oh, gosh, yeah, this was when the goal went in.
Look at your reaction there.
And do you know what the funny thing was? My mic was like strapped to the chair, so I couldn't even get up properly.
You can see it holding you back.
quickly.
You're supposed to be impartial.
Pardon?
You're supposed to be impartial, aren't you?
Well, it's family. You've got to be.
You should be.
Thierry, do you think Arsenal can do it this year, despite, they've just lost to Villa, and we'll see how they do?
I said it so many times, and I said it to Declan Rice the other day. You got to believe that you can do it. What I didn't like in that game is when they conceded, obviously, the goal at the end. Everyone fell on the ground like you lost something. You lost a game. The same way when you win a game, that doesn't mean you're going to win everything, but we lost a game away at Villa. Everyone fell down, like we lost something that was bigger than what it was. You lost 3 points, regroup, try to see what you can do in the Champions League and move on and what you can do after that. But the way we went about it against Chelsea, we didn't try to win the game. We don't try to win the game at the end against Villa. Bukayo Saka is on the yellow, you take him off. Calafiori takes a yellow against Chelsea, 11 versus 10. You take him off because you're scared he will take a second yellow. That sends a message that you're scared of playing with a player that's going to get another yellow. You have to send a message out there that we can win the league. This is why I said that to Declan Rice the other day, and that's the only thing missing for me.
Sorry, Hannah, is it like a matter of them putting too much pressure on themselves, that reaction after the loss to Villa?
It's just a matter of when you never won anything, it's tough to cross that line. The fear of winning sometimes is bigger than the fear of losing. Kate.
Thank you. A big day in Champions League action.
Welcome back to the Premier League show, and I'm sure as a former Spurs player, you're delighted to be talking about Arsenal top of the table this season. But they did lose at the weekend, and after a couple of, the draw with Chelsea, are they having a little bit of a wobble, do you feel?
Yeah, I really didn't see it happening, to be honest. I kind of felt they were just going to be steady. I thought, regardless of whether or not they'd win matches, I thought they would see games through. I thought defensively they were so solid that they weren't going to give away goals the way they did the weekend. So I'm surprised that they've gone to that stage now where they've lost a couple of points, and they didn't get themselves to a point where they were so far ahead where you felt it was a foregone conclusion. It felt like it potentially was. But now everybody's starting to creep back up, and you can see they've got the bit between their teeth. They're looking, that hunt is on, and if they get a run in January like we know they've been capable of doing in the past, then who knows? But yeah, I think Arsenal will be a little bit worried about what's happened in the past. They don't want that coming to the forefront of their mind, but they're still, for me, the most informed team. They're solid across the park, abundance of depth in the squad, and can compete on multiple fronts. So I still think I think they're very strong. Is it that,
it's that centre-back pairing that everyone's spoken about, and then we've also said, oh, hang on a minute, they've got strength in depth, they've got players that could come in. Is that what's kind of the bit that actually everyone's saying maybe it is all about Gabriel and Saliba? Yeah, I think so. I think like that. It seems like when they had that capitulation before, when Saliba got injured a few seasons ago, that was a massive, massive fault in them. But you feel like Declan Rice sitting in front helps a little bit. The players they were bringing in the squad, fullbacks, Calafiori's in there now. They seem to have a little bit more about them that they can cope with one of those players being out. But I think there was a little chink in the armour against Villa where they conceded that goal. And I get that was just a very untypical Arsenal goal to concede. It was scrappy in the box. They didn't clear the lines, bounces around, and then Villa come up with a last-minute winner. Whereas I would have absolutely nailed them on to see that game through. So maybe teams will think they can be got at, but I still think they're a very strong squad. Can they cope without Declan Rice, do you think? I don't know. It was a worry when Saka was gone because I think he's so influential. Yeah. Odegaard, again, another player, but I feel like Eze's been able to come into that and adapted really well. But Declan Rice is something different, isn't he? He's, again, another player that, as an Irish eyes, he always had such high expectations for him. Unfortunately, it's not for us, it's for someone else. Yes. But the quality is there. The way he commands games, the way he sees it through, he can read danger, he can be attack, he can be defence. He's just an all-round midfielder, and we spoke about Bruno Fernandes and Man United captains and people that lead from the middle of the park. That's what Rice is to me. Not so much vocally, but in performance levels with tackles and passing. So I think he is a key part of that squad, and maybe that'd be the one that if you're to lose, you potentially. But at the moment, he's okay. You did talk about the fact that one thing we can rely on this season is kind of the inconsistency around the other teams. So. That said, are Arsenal still your title favourites? Yeah, at the moment they still are. I think
I think Haaland has been sensational for City, and there's been a few players like Foden is getting back to a level which was, it's kind of scary if you're another team looking, because you think you don't want him playing the levels yet, because you know what he can produce. And then there's Doku is in there, players that are producing. So you feel City are getting back to something. But just Arsenal, I just think have just had the edge for a little while now this season, and I feel like there's been a steady ship kind of just going through the motions comfortably without actually having to really unload big performances. And I said that the other teams, the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Liverpool, Spurs, Man United, all those teams, none of them are really competing. Villa have done extremely well to get back in there, but look where they were at the start of the season. So I think Arsenal kind of consistency, which is something I think they did once.
Slow and steady, almost. Okay, look.